Find your Everest and go conquer it. Hello to my fantastically awesome, fully energetic and boss champion. All of my wonderful champion community. This is me, Vaibhav Nahata. Oh yeah, your favorite presenter for being champions. And yes, in today's episode, now this is going to be a very epic and amazing episode because this has probably never happened. Or every time we do episode, right, we're going to do something very different. In today's episode, you'll be very astonished. The person we are going to have comes from our place. Oh yeah. And we have with today the very wonderfully smiling our guest John Beede, who has wonderful smile and white teeth like anything. So John, thank you so much for joining.
Vaibhav, thank you so much for having me. I have a surprise for you. Check this out. It's the flag of Nepal right here. Yeah, this is from when I went to Mount Everest. There I am at the top. You can see Everest Base Camp right there.
Okay.
This is the scarf, the prayer scarf that the Geisha Lama gave to me.
That's right. That's right.
I love Nepal, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Wow. It feels like I'm talking to someone from my home, right? It feels like that.
I love your home. It's the most beautiful country for nature, I think, in the world, and I love the people there, the friendliest people in the world, and I brush my teeth just to be here with you. That's why I have the white
smile. Well played right there. So, okay, I mean, people know you as a Everest climb, the person, a speaker who has climbed the topmost place on the earth that comes from my country, and it's our world, my country, your country, let's say. So at this point of time, there's so much I want to talk to you, expertise in deep motivation and blah and blah. Our audience know that we don't do all the boring stuff, but I have to acknowledge, I really have to acknowledge that the speaker we have today, John, is not just any other speaker. It's not just any other interview. Believe me, you're going to have goosebumps and ghost bumps and duck bumps and whatnot, because it's going to be very much fun over there. Okay. So John, before we go into delving into specific, we talk about specific tips that can be applied into life. But before we get into that, we would love to hear your journey of how challenging or how things went for you in your journey to climb the Mount Everest, and what you relate with it to inspire the students all around the world.
Absolutely. I was just thinking now that the most important thing in climbing any Everest, whether it's actually Mount Everest or just the big thing that you want for your life, is to believe that you're an Everest climber before you ever set foot on the mountain. You understand? Like, I had to convince myself by visualizing, by dreaming, by picturing myself on top of the mountain. I had photographs of the summit, videos of the summit, and daily, every single day for years, I would visualize myself as though I were there. Before I ever had every day. I would wake up, I'd close my eyes, meditate, breathe.
Wow.
And I would pretend, I would take 1/3 of a breath, pretending that I was breathing 1/3 of the oxygen, which is what we have on the summit of Mount Everest.
That's right.
I would breathe, and I would picture, can I remember what Lukla looks like? Can I remember what Nuptse looks like? Just before ever going there, from the videos, just from the picture, right? That is the key. So when I got to the mountain finally, to answer your question, 10 days of a walk to get to Everest Base Camp. And then we do ladders, right? We climb up to Camp 1, back down, up to Camp 2, back down.
Why
to
so?
Camp 3. Because you have to carry gear and equipment and food and put it up higher and then go back down for more. That's one part of it. But the other part of it is you have to let your blood acclimatize. If you and I went in a helicopter and got dropped off on the summit right now, both of us would die. We'd be dead.
Okay.
So you have to go slowly and then go back down so your body can recover.
That's
right. So it takes like 6 weeks to climb to the summit, and then another 2 weeks to get out. It's a 2-month journey.
Okay. You see, this is disgracious, isn't it? I don't know that about my Mount Everest.
Well, I'm glad that we can learn from each other.
Wow, that's amazing. So I really love the concept you shared about. There is one very powerful statement you put in the very niche part about belief, and I really believe that my champions must take it, not just listen it, but don't just listen it, but feel it right there. Could you repeat that one wonderful punchline that you had right there over there, John?
Man, I don't know what the quote was, but the concept is
Huh?
to believe that you are an Everest climber before you ever set foot
Oh
on
yeah,
your
oh
Mount
yeah.
Everest.
Believe that you are an Everest climber. And when you say Everest climber, it's not just the 4484, right?
No,
It is
I don't care. I don't
ah.
care if you ever climb Mount Everest, if your listeners ever go, if they ever put on a pair of hiking shoes, I don't care. I care that
Mm,
you find the thing, the big thing in your life that makes you come to life, the thing that you say, I will push through any amount of struggle in order to reach that thing, because to me that's the thing that's most important. What is that
mm,
for you? For
that's
anyone
right.
listening, what is that thing for you?
What's your
Get crystal
Everest?
clear about it. Are you
Mm.
asking me personally, or are you asking generally for the listeners?
It's for the listeners as well, right?
Yeah,
It's for the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
listener.
yeah.
We got to all question, what's my Everest? What's my
You
Everest?
know
That's a good
what's
question.
what's cool about a mountain is that it makes it easy. It's
Mm.
huge. There's one single point, and you get to that thing, and you know for a fact you're at the top,
Mm.
right? You have to
That's
become
right.
that clear about what that thing is for you in your life. Does it
Mm.
mean writing a screenplay that gets made
Mm.
into a movie, and the day that you're
Mm.
sitting in the theater, like,
Mm.
are you sitting in the theater watching your own film?
That's
Is it the
right.
day that you open the doors to your own business and your first
Wow.
customer walks in and
Mm.
gives you $1 or
That's
some
right.
rupees, or like, what is the crystal clear moment that is you standing on top of that mountain? Get clear about it. Wake up daily, close your
Mm.
eyes, and
Mm.
visualize it as though it's happening right now. Because
Wow.
if you don't have the mindset that you're able to accomplish this
Mm.
thing, or your deepest self believes that you belong in that place, that's like your home of your soul,
Mm.
it won't happen, or it will be much more of a struggle.
Wow. Wow. No, when you talk about visualization, there's so much more to talk to today. But when you talk about
Yeah.
visualization over there, like let's say my dream is to build out a school that is all about skills, or let's say my dream is to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, or whatever it is. Now, when you say being able to visualize in the morning, I'm sure it wouldn't be something like you wake up in 6 o'clock in the morning and try to see random pictures over there of partying and dancing. It's going to be about work, but it's going to. Can you be more clear, because visualization actually is so broad? Can you be more clear and specific on how that routine or how that structure of morning visualization can look like?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be in the morning. It could
Okay,
be in the evening. It could be at lunch. I
that's
don't
right.
like waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I hear all these people say, wake up, be an early riser, get up at 5 in the morning. I
Uh-huh,
don't do that. I get
uh-huh,
up at 8 o'clock, and I go to bed late, and my best time is in the evening.
uh-huh,
So it doesn't have to be in the morning. But
uh-huh.
what's important is that you have a dedicated time, that's
Mm,
when you picture yourself in that place and as though you're at the summit. And
that's
if you're
right.
opening a school, like you said, or if you want to become the CEO of a Fortune 500 company,
Mm,
what's important about this
mm,
is that as you're on your journey towards
mm,
getting to that place, you're going
mm,
to learn different lessons,
mm,
of course, because
mm,
I went to South America. I climbed in the Andes. I learned
mm,
what like how to climb there. I went to Alaska. I went to
mm,
Europe, to Africa, to climb the tallest mountains on those continents.
mm,
But I would still continue to do this visualization of Everest. And as I learned
mm.
more and more from these other mountains, it gave me a broader picture of what I would actually be dealing with when I got to
Wow.
Everest. So if you're
Amazing.
trying to become a
Amazing.
Fortune 500 company,
Uh-huh.
you're going to be like, okay, well, now I'm the vice president. Still,
Mm.
picture it now, knowing what I know as the vice president. Or if you're
Beautiful.
opening the school. Okay, now knowing what I know as an educator or having mentored three kids, now I
Mm-hmm.
continue to visualize it, and you keep building and building and building this vision of who you really are.
That's right. We're going really deep over here. And when you talk about the dream over there, now, John, is it something like, just to restate what you say, and please confirm if I'm right, I have that one static big goal that I have, which is my Everest. And there today I might be climbing the little cliff in my place. And then every single time I take the initiative and hard work to climb a little higher mountain every time. But the visualization of Everest remains static. And this routine of development is consistent, and gradually, one mountain at a time, I reach at the Everest.
Exactly. Like
Wow,
when
love
I
this concept.
wherever you are right now, that's
Hmm,
honest and that's real and that is you.
hmm,
Whatever your dream is,
hmm.
that is also honest, that is real, and that is you.
Beautiful,
All you have, so
beautiful.
you know who you are in the future or what your ideal self is, and you
Hmm.
know who you are today. The only thing that's left is to fill in what is missing.
Wow,
That's
presented
it.
it so beautifully.
It's just time, and it's
Hmm,
taking the steps. It's
hmm.
putting your ice axe into the snow
That's
every single
right,
day in order
right.
to build in that story, because that
Hmm.
is still you, even though it hasn't happened yet. If it's truly
Wow.
your dream, if
Uh-huh.
it truly comes from your soul and your heart, that is still your identity. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter that it hasn't transpired yet. If you're taking
Hmm.
those steps towards that vision
Hmm.
and you know that that's
Hmm.
who you are in your soul,
Hmm.
you have to go on that journey.
Hmm.
Humanity depends on it. Your fulfillment of yourself depends on it. Like, please, for all of us, take those steps.
And isn't it true, John, that God has gifted us all with an Everest to climb? And if we resist climbing our own Everest, it's a cheating on our purpose of existence.
I, I couldn't say it better. I don't even want to answer because you said that so beautifully. You cheat your own existence.
That's
Yes.
right. Now this is going really deep, and rather than going out of here and getting scripture and this getting more into script, let's delve more deeper into what we are into right now, because our audience wants fresh perspective right here. So over there, John, when we talk about visualization, being able to see it, now in your case, did you see the journey of reaching to the Everest, in the sense that the cliffs you were climbing, and the journey from one base camp to the other, and when it was happening in reality? No, let's not be a speaker, okay? Let's be very honest over here, and let's try to find out, is it true that what you visualize, it was 100% in the same pattern and way, the way the steps you were taking, the breaths were happening? What was the similarity to the visualization part and the reality part?
The reality part had struggle
Mm-hmm.
and challenges
Mm-hmm.
and emotion,
Okay.
negative emotion
Mm-hmm.
every single day, and I would even say in every single hour. Every
Okay.
hour while there on the mountain, while even on the final summit day,
Mm-hmm.
I doubted myself. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to turn back. I didn't
Mm.
know that I had what it took.
That's
I was
right.
scared. I was fearful. Even though I had visualized it and climbed, when I'm looking down at 8,000 feet into Nepal and 10,000 feet into Tibet, and you're walking
Mm.
along the summit ridge,
That's right.
I'm terrified.
Mm-hmm.
So, to answer your question, was it the same?
Mm-hmm.
No, because I was faced with these struggles, and
Okay.
the proof of whether you truly deserve to set foot on top of your big mountain in your life is if you have the courage to overcome those fears.
Wow. Wow. Can we do that once again? That was a beautiful learning over there. Our audience wants.
I'm making I'm making this up as I go. I can't repeat all this
Is
stuff.
it John, like walking philosopher right there?
um, yeah, if you don't put up with the pain,
Hmm.
if you don't overcome your own fear, if you can't flip your negative emotions around while you're going after that big thing, if you quit only if you know that's your Everest, it's okay to quit sometimes, but if you know that that is where you belong and you let your own negative thoughts beat you, you don't deserve it. You do not
Wow.
deserve it.
You know what? Let me be honest over here, John. I am going to watch this interview for myself again and again. This is going really in the wonderful flow, and our audience is going to resonate it so well. What's happening over here is we are delving deep into one specific skill that can really transform our life. I promise you, John, that's a promise from my end. I am going to visualize the success and the journey towards that my Everest. Okay, but before we reach out to the Everest, it's so important to find our Everest, right? It's to find my calling or purpose of existence or passion or whatever name you give it, or ikigai. What is that Everest? Now, to all of my teens and youths and elder, all those people watching this right now, what happens is that their Everest keeps changing every single moment. What happens is that one moment they want to be a dancer, the other moment they want to sing, the other moment they want to do this and that, and every single moment they got a goddamn new Everest made. And my Nepal is the only country, and there is only one Everest, right? Now there might be multiple Everests in the pursuit of life, but can you bring more clarity about how that Everest can be found?
Okay, so here I'm gonna draw here for you. Okay,
Sure,
is this okay?
Sure, it's looking good.
Cool. So the first thing that you do is you make on any sheet, and everybody should do this. This is how to find your Everest. Your Everest.
Okay.
Okay, here's how you do it. You take a big pen, like the thickest marker you can find, and you make 3 circles. 1, 2, 3, right? In this first circle, you write everything you're talented in. Okay? And you just write, okay, I'm really good at jumping high. I love reading books. I'm great at playing soccer or football. I'm good at coding computers. Everything you're good at, just naturally talented. The next box, you write everything that you are that you love doing, or your passions, everything that you just are joyful of, right? So over here, if it was like, oh, I'm really good at coding HTML or CSS in computers, but you don't, it's not over here, it's not a love of yours, that's not your Everest.
Wow.
Right? But suddenly, if it's like, oh, look, football is one of my talents, and football is also something I love, now you're like, okay, cool. Like, now we're on to something.
Like, I love eating pizzas, but that's not my talent.
I'm really talented at eating pizza.
Eating till the last cheese is left right there.
So then the last circle is your education.
Okay.
So this one is not just what you're already educated in, but it's what you are willing to become educated in.
That's right.
So when you get something like, let's go with football. Let's say you see there's, hey, football here, and football's here. I'm willing to like get a coach and train and study all the greats. Now you know, look, that's in the intersection. That's in the middle.
Where it all meets.
Where it all meets.
By the way, can someone teach me how to eat pizzas?
Okay. So in my next diagram, we have a pizza, okay? And then this one, we got your pepperoni.
We got too much into pizzas.
I know, okay. But
that's
so
fun.
To your question, you have the problem is when somebody says, oh, I know one thing and then I switch because I don't want to do that anymore. It's because they see one thing that's like here. Like, I love doing this. And then they think, oh, that's my Everest.
Wow.
Just because I love it. but they haven't found that it's also their talent, and they haven't
That's
also decided
right.
that they're wanting to get educated in that thing. It has to
Mm,
have all three. If you think,
mm,
oh, I see a guy who's making a lot of money by selling real estate. Okay, that could be your Everest, to
that's
sell $1
right.
million worth of real estate. But if
Mm,
that's just like, I'm only willing to be educated, but I'm not talented at it, or I don't
mm,
actually love it,
mm,
you're gonna try it for like a week or a month or a year, and I'm not really passionate about my life. I'm
that's
not enjoying
right.
it. It
Uh-huh.
has to come from your talent,
Mm,
your love, and your education. And unless all
mm.
of those meet together, that is not your Everest.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was very deep. And this is going to help all of us find our Everest. Now, once the Everest is found, what's the process ahead going to be?
So after you know, like, that's the summit or that's the goal, your
Hmm.
next step is to lay out an action plan. And there are
Hmm.
three components to an action plan that I think are critical, that
Hmm.
every single person must
Hmm.
must
Hmm.
execute. The
But you
first
know
one,
what, John? Okay. So, you know what, John?
tell me.
Now, what happens is that all of our friends, they have found the Everest at this moment and they want to hop right into the peak, right? They
Mm-hmm.
just want to take one jump and be over there. But as you were saying, it's the process. And once you realize that a hop cannot take you to the Everest, there is a process. That's when the real journey begins, right? And that's what.
Do not forget that you will die if you are dropped off on top of Everest right now.
Okay.
I would.
Mm-hmm.
We will die
That's right.
because you haven't gone on the acclimatization journey. Your
Oh,
body is not
yeah.
ready.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we talked about that?
That's right.
Same thing with climbing to your mountain. You are
Amazing.
not ready because you haven't gone through the journey. And
Mm,
I never said to myself, I am a person who has stood on top of Everest before it
mm,
happened. I never said that. I said
mm,
I am an Everest climber,
mm,
meaning it's the love of the journey.
mm.
That's why you have to have this part, this component.
That's
You have
right.
to love the process. If you
Mm,
don't love, if you go to the football analogy again, if you don't love walking onto the field, lacing up your shoes, smelling the grass, feeling your
wow.
body
It's the
soar,
process.
it's only the process.
Oh, yeah.
It's only the process. Even
Mm,
standing on top of a mountain, that's not even being finished with it. You
that's
still have to
right.
get down. You still have to get
Okay.
down,
And when
right?
we talk about acclimatization over there, it's that you raise your standard every single time, right?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
consistently challenging the standard that you set for yourself. That once you reach the place you want, you look back and say, oh, yeah, here's not where I belong. You go ahead and say, oh, yeah, here's where not I belong. And you keep that process continuous. That's what it's all about.
You climb up to camp 1 and you go, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. There's no way I could go higher. This is the highest I'll ever be able to go in my life. I need to go back down and rest. You go back down and
Mm,
rest and you say, okay, I can go higher. I believe it. I'm made of more. You go to
mm,
camp 1, you go to camp 2. You say, there's no way I could possibly go higher. This is as high as I'll ever be able to climb in
mm,
my life. You go down and you rest. You say,
mm.
actually, I'm stronger than that. I'm made of more. It's the same thing in pursuing your dream and your goal for your life. You'll feel like, oh my gosh, I can't make another step towards it. You take your time, you rest, and you love the entire process, even as hard as it is, even as much struggle as there is. And if you're not willing to go through that, you're not willing to confront yourself and grow as a person, you do not deserve to be put on top of that mountain.
Oh, yeah. And also, John, most people, now this is very important and wonderful. Most people reach the base camp and consider it to be Everest. They become too proud to be at the first base camp and they consider that to be an Everest and they die there. They are too proud to be on the base camp, which avoids them to reach a further step ahead.
But that's okay, because if somebody's dream is just to get to Everest Base Camp and experience the walk,
Uh-huh.
that's totally fine. That's
Okay,
legitimate
that's
because
right.
that's their journey. And I will
Uh-huh.
never ever discount the dream or the Mount Everest of somebody else. So
Hmm.
you're right, in that people literally do that.
Okay.
But I think that
It's a
maybe the point,
subjective concept. It's choice.
if so if we're talking about a metaphor,
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of times people discount themselves and they don't shoot for as much as they're made of.
That's
So
right.
often people could make the top, but they
Mm,
get to the base camp and they think, oh, that's good enough.
that's true. Most people
Some
dream of most people dream of the Everest, but die at the base camp.
Yeah, I guess I don't quite understand, but I think so.
Uh, that.
Maybe
Uh-huh,
maybe let's look at it like this: if
uh-huh,
somebody has it in them to become a surgeon, a medical
mm,
doctor surgeon,
uh-huh,
and they only go and get their CPR certification,
mm.
and they say, "Okay, I'm a doctor now."
That's
No,
a
you're
disaster.
made. It's a disaster because
Mm,
you gave up your gift from God
mm.
by not being willing to do the work,
You're
not being
killing the
willing to take the step.
possibility right there.
Exactly.
Mm. And isn't it a crime over there now, John? Let's be precise from the eyes of the upside. Let's look up from the bird's eye view. You are sent for a purpose, and you are here for a reason, and you don't live up to it. Isn't it a crime to kill the possibilities that you had? Isn't it a crime to, I understand, agree that everyone have, like, for some people base camp is their Everest, and it's the subjective concept. But if that's your Everest, if you're considering the base camp of Everest, if your goal is to be the best person in the town, best entrepreneur in the town, not in the country, that's okay. But you want to be
Yes.
best at least in that. And if you are not making that happen, it's a crime.
Yeah.
It's a
Uh,
cheating.
if you know for sure that that is your dream and your goal, and your
Mm,
life would not be complete unless you did everything you could to pursue that thing,
mm.
then yes, I agree with you.
And
However, I want to kind of like change tone here,
mm,
because if you discover along the way
mhm,
that this is not the right mountain for you,
mm,
or if you're on a journey that, let's say, your parents put you on but is not
mm,
actually the right mountain, or that
mm.
your friends influenced you to chase after, but
That's
you don't
right.
actually want, you realize this isn't actually my thing,
Mm,
then it's a crime to not quit and
that's
go find
right.
the thing. Just
Mm.
as like my father was an airline pilot, my
Okay.
grandfather was an airline pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I was in an airplane flying the
Mm.
plane, and I like, this isn't actually what I love.
Mm.
And my dad and grandfather are fine with this, but
Mm.
I'm thinking, am I living my dream or am I living my dad's dream?
That's true.
You have to find the thing that is what you are made for, and you have to have the courage to quit on other people's dreams that you're not
Mm.
made for.
Everyone has their own Everest.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. We are living in this Everest world right now, right? It's kind of fun.
Come,
and
let's climb
and
a
and
mountain.
and, and we're talking about the criminal concept. Like, if what we're talking, if you're not pursuing your Everest, if most people all around us are criminals with bars over their head, right? And we are living in a world where this is happening, and we have a choice. Let's not look around. Let's take a mirror and look into ourselves. How many bars are you holding in your head?
Mm.
Which Everest have you discovered yet? And at the same time, John, can someone have multiple Everest?
I think people can have multiple Everests, but it's important to not have too many, because
Okay.
then you'll take a step towards one mountain and you'll stop, and you'll take a step
Mm,
towards another mountain and then stop, and then you'll go
mm,
back and you'll never make any progress.
that's right.
So do handle one mountain at a time. Love the journey. It's not
Mm,
about conquering the mountain. It's
mm.
about allowing the mountain to teach you as you go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, there's this movie called the. I'd recommend all of our viewers to watch this. There's this movie called The Peaceful Warriors, and in this there's this
Hmm.
concept explained so well. You remember, John?
No, I haven't seen it,
Okay,
but
I
yeah,
recommend
tell
it
me.
very highly. It's a wonderful movie. It comes again from a play background, athletic background, and it's in YouTube as well. Very much recommendable. Very much. It
Yeah.
gets you more clarity to the concept. It's like there's this trainer who says to his mentee, his student, that we're going to find a wonderful treasure over the mountain. They cross the whole mountain with all toil, and over the top he picks up a random stone and gives him that stone, and he says, what the heck is this? And the trainer says that it's not about the treasure, it's about the journey towards the treasure.
Yes. Yes. I could not agree with that more. I could
Mm,
not agree with that more. Um, this idea of like, I have defeated a mountain, I have conquered it. That
mm,
doesn't that's not real. That's arrogant.
mm.
That is arrogant.
That's right.
If you get to the treasure and you think, mine, now I keep this treasure,
Mm,
you're just greedy and you're just hurting other people. Nobody conquers a mountain.
mm.
The only thing that happens is people discover more about themselves as they climb.
Beautiful.
So that analogy from that film, The Peaceful Warrior, is 100% accurate. I can't wait to watch it after this interview.
Definitely. And believe me, when I watched that movie 2 o'clock in the morning, I took a shower and I wrote my list of goals, a little bit of them, and they did happen. A wonderful movie right there. So when we're talking about all this, and we are in this wonderful flow right here, I don't want to leave. Believe me, this is one of the most epic and wonderful. One of the episodes in which I'm more into the content and interview than ever before. And I mean it over there, John.
Awesome.
We have really tried to be and understand more about that Everest with this analogies and anecdotes over here, and the way you have made it clear with examples, and I love the concept of finding your Everest with the three concept that you said, the three circle concept.
I'm so glad
But
to hear that. That makes me really proud to be a part of this.
oh yeah, but my champions know that we have a surprise for you.
What?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's hear
So
it.
what we're going to do is that we're going to run a rapid fire round. And it's going to be a completely different thing. What's going to happen is that I'm going to storm you with random words. The words could be as random as the pen lead, or as wonderful as finding Everest. Okay, and you have a
Okay.
maximum of 6 words to answer that. A minimum of 1 word.
Okay.
Okay, so and it's going to be real instantaneous. Okay, now let me just give you a quick background over here. We had everyone from the world champion of public speaking to Olympic medalists to this, golden button YouTubers and all those people in this part. And in this part, all of these wonderful people, many of them have freezed. In fact, in the last 2 to 3 interviews, almost 60 to 70% of our guests freezed out. It goes
Freezed
that
out?
intense. Freezed out means they get out of words, it becomes in a really high flow.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let's
you
do
want to
this.
have some
Let's do this.
water because I'm going to challenge you. Oh yeah, let me have some.
Okay, here you go.
Okay,
Let's do it.
okay, so on the count of 3, 2, and 1. Water.
Water,
That's right.
ice,
John Reed.
courage,
Chocolates.
muffins,
Mother.
father,
Chocolates. Again.
Forrest Gump,
Ah, that was deep. I ought to take a pause right there. Vaibhav Nahata.
say again, I couldn't hear.
Vaibhav Nahata.
Energy,
Money.
tool,
Rain.
bow,
Sage.
smoke,
Bunny.
rabbit,
Temple.
orange,
Roses.
violets,
Tasty.
bananas,
Creepy.
bananas,
Tasty.
flan,
Mobile phone.
evil,
Cameras.
memories,
Watch.
time,
Life.
Is good.
Wife,
Is good.
laptop,
Tool.
mouse,
Trap.
diary,
Journal.
dent,
Dent.
tripod,
Uh, strength.
mobile cover.
Mobile cover is, I don't know what that is.
Okay, we stop right there. Okay, that
Okay.
was good. You did good. You were amazing right there.
Thanks, man.
I know there was some, ups and downs in the journey to the Everest, but you pulled yourself up.
Yeah, it was the line was breaking up for some of them, so I couldn't hear
Okay,
some of
okay,
them. But
getting you.
what is it? What's a mobile cover?
Well, we call it the mobile case is also called mobile cover in this part of world.
Ah, like a phone case. Okay,
Oh
sorry about
yeah,
that.
oh yeah.
Okay, so what's next? What is
Next.
what is your Everest? I want to make sure
Wow.
that you asked me to mentor you. What is yours? What are you gonna do as a result of this time we've had?
Now, my Everest, in terms of action that I'm going to take, the number one is going to be I'm going to create a specific visualization pattern or a viewpoint that I'm going to develop of what my Everest look like. Okay, and what my Everest at this point of time is to create an ecosystem where education is more life oriented. Okay, because John, I have a question for you. Very simple. 10 years from now, okay, 10 years from now. Uh, if a child does not know two formulas of maths, which is going to anyway forget, what difference is it going to make? And if two more life values like finding your Everest or things what we talked about are deeply inculcated, they'll be completely different person. It's all about the values and standards being set, right? So my mission is being able to delve and put in this values as a part of lifestyle for the teens and youths. And to be very precise, pulling it in a very short way, my Everest is to be able to create education that is about inspiration and life skills.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I'm 100% on board with you. Um, is it okay if I tell people where they can find more resources from me?
Sure.
So I have a free course for anyone who's listening.
Mm-hmm.
It is about this very subject, about goal casting, how to find your Everest for yourself, how to go on that journey. So this is just scratching the surface. You can
Mm-hmm.
go to johnbeede.com, JOHNBEEDE. And I have this
Mm-hmm.
book coming out. It's called The Warrior Challenge.
Wow.
And it's 8 quests for boys to grow up with kindness, courage, and grit.
That's
And it's coming out
wonderful.
September 1st. And it's an awesome book that has like comic book illustrations in it. Let me just kind of show you one.
Sure.
Like here's some guys climbing,
Okay.
like in Yosemite in the Dawn Wall. So it's
Uh-huh.
illustrated, and like some of the adventures are just out of this world that are in this book. So if anybody wants to
Beautiful.
pre-order this thing, it's available for pre-order.
That's amazing. My dear friends, I'm going to definitely check that out. So, yeah, you can look into it as well. That's amazing. Find your Everest. So, thank you so much, John, for being with us. This is one of the most
Thank you,
epic
Vaibhav, for
episodes
having
we
me.
did. And thank you so much, my wonderful champion society, for watching this special episode of Being Champions with Vaibhav Nahata. Oh, yeah, you're going to see me next week, even with more dazzling energy, enthusiasm, and a grit to find my Everest and going to conquer it as well. Thank you so much. See you next week.